How you doing? Homestead Ed here. Tonight I want to show you how to make an excellent fire starter. Super easy to do, and if you do it with your own wax source, like some old candles you don't want anymore, well, what I like to use is those citronella candles you use out on the patio. You know how the wicks always burn out of the candles and you still have a bunch of wax left. Just gather that stuff all up, and it doesn't cost you a cent then to make it. So what you're going to need is a couple tuna fish cans, empty tuna fish cans, some source of wax. I'm using just some old candles here, and some chlorinated cardboard. Now it's important that you use this because you can see how they have these little vents in there. That's going to suck up the wax, so that's very important. You don't want to use just like a flat cardboard from a beer case or something like that, but a regular cardboard box. So to get started, you're going to take your cardboard and you want to cut it to the height of the tuna fish can. If it's not perfect, it doesn't really matter much. I don't like it making it too much higher than the can though, because then the wax doesn't get totally in the top part of it. And I also like to cut out more of this cardboard than I think I'm going to need, because I don't want to get halfway through making my fire starters and then need another piece and I got to stop and cut another piece. Okay, so once we got this cut up, I cut some in the beginning, we need to make a wick. For this I'm going to take a piece of cardboard, just cut it off about, I don't know, 3 inches, maybe 4 inches, it's not that important. And I'm going to cut 2 45s into it. And then into that, I'm going to cut a few strips, like maybe 4 or 5 little cuts into it, just opening it up. This is going to be our wick. Okay, you see that? We take it, bend it in half. Oh, you know what I really should have talked about a little bit before this, is getting our wax going. Now to do the wax, what I like to do is take a pot, put a little bit of water in it, and I use this old pitcher, but you could use any kind of container you don't want to reuse for something else, because it's really tough to get this wax out once you start. A soup can would work perfect for this. You take that, you put it inside, get that going at about medium heat, and then throw your wax in. And that's going to melt down nice. Okay, let's get back to our wick. So here we have our wick. I cut it in the 45, I cut my strips, folded it over. I'm just going to bend it a little bit at the bottom there, and that's that. We take our cardboard and just start wrapping it around that wick. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this up to fit inside of this tuna fish can. So basically, the tuna fish can is our form for making this. After it's all done, I have one that I made last night sitting here. After it's all done, we're going to remove it from that can. If you want to leave it in the can while you store them, that's fine. But before you light the fire starter, you want to make sure you take it out of the can, otherwise it's not going to burn the way you want it to burn. If you were using this fire starter, let's say, as like a little stove for cooking over, you're going camping and you're going to cook on it, then you could leave it in the can. But if you're going to use it to light a fire, make sure you take it out of the can. And that's part of the reason I like to use tuna fish cans, because tuna fish cans are not made of heavy metal. And sometimes it can be a little tough getting these out of the can. So I'm going to show you that on the one I made last night. I probably should have cut up a little more. I think we're going to make it, but just barely. Okay, so I've got that wrapped up. I'm going to shove that into my can, and we're good to go. I really would have liked an extra strip in here, but for demonstration purposes, that's fine. Now I simply take my wax and pour it over my fire starter. You want to make sure you do this slowly, because what you want to do is you want to get all that wax in all those little nooks and crannies of the cardboard. If you do too fast, it's just going to overflow on you and make a big mess. So you just slowly pour that all over your cardboard. Now, you're going to want to let this dry good, and it actually takes a very long time. I normally let it dry overnight before I'm going to do anything with it. And there, we just made a nice little free fire starter. These things are excellent. They will, since they're covered with wax, they're basically waterproof. You can light them. They burn for about an hour, a little over an hour, and they give off plenty of heat. It makes it simple. Now, to get it out of the can can be a little difficult at times. So what I like to do, sometimes I'll just go around it with a knife, and then I take a pair of snips, and I'm going to snip that can away. If you were to use like a soup can or a can of beans, this would be really difficult to do. But with these tuna fish cans, the metal is so flimsy. Once I get a little snip in there, I can just peel that metal right away. And sometimes you don't even have to take it all off, and you can pop it right out of there. Let me see if this is going to be one of those times. Yep. Now be careful you don't cut your fingers with this. But that's it. So here we have a beautiful little fire starter. I'm going to take you outside, we'll throw it in the fire pit, and I'll show you how it lights up. Okay, well, it's getting dark out here now, but I just wanted to show you how good these fire starters work. I'm just going to just go right at the top there. Light that wick. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to shut this off, and in a little while I'll turn it back on once that gets all cooking nice and let you see just how good they are. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes now, and you can see the whole top of the fire starter is lit up. These generally will burn for about an hour, and they give off plenty of heat, plenty of flame. And with the wax, they're basically waterproof. So even in wet conditions, it makes making a fire very, very easy. Best part of it, really doesn't cost you anything to make them. Well, thanks for watching.